first start. One of the things that will help you in your learning of Spanish, believe it or not, is the English that you already know, okay? There is the old joke that all you need to do is take an English word and add like O to it, and it becomes Espanol. Well, that joke, while, you know, kind of insensitive, maybe a little racist, is actually based on some truth. Okay, it's not. Don't worry. You can play around with that. All right. And so the sheet that I've given you, these are called cognates. A cognate is basically a word that is similar or even identical in two languages. Okay. So for example, this is English, this is Spanish. Okay? What's the English word? Hospital. The Spanish word? Hospital. Okay? So you basically just pronounce it in Spanish, number one, but it's identical, and it means the exact same thing. Doctors, patients, sick people, you know, surgeries, whatever. Nurses, whatever else happens in a hospital. Okay? Let's see, this can be Spanish, that can be English. Okay? What is the English word? Animal. Spanish word? Animal. Okay? Once again, you just pronounce it in Spanish. Or, you know, make some adjustments. Okay? But means the exact same thing. Okay? Fur, claws, tail, you know, whatever you think of an animal. Okay? And so, this sheet gives you a list of words that are either identical or very, very similar, okay, in English and Spanish, and they mean the exact same thing. So you basically already know way more Spanish vocabulary than you think you do, okay? So the first group that's there, lugares, lugares means places, okay? What do you think? Apartamento. Apartment, yeah, it's literally apartment with an O. All right, so apartamento, apartment, okay? Now, sometimes it's not enough to look at it. You kind of have to sound it out because we do like kind of switch around letters a little bit in Espanol. So the next one, banco, bank. Yeah, we don't tend to use the K a whole lot in Spanish, even though it is part of our alphabet. So in this case, we substitute the K with a C, all right? But literally banco, okay? And I'm gonna skip around. I'm not gonna read all of them. What do you think estación? Station, okay, station. All right, now, this could mean like a radio station, all right? You know, like whatever you listen to on the drive-in on Siri XFM or whatever satellite radio you might have, or a bus station, a train station, you know, whatever kind. All right, so even like in English, it does take on multiple meanings. So it does the same thing in Espanol. Okay, this one's really hard. If you look at the second column, cafeteria.
Cafeteria.
Yeah, it's the same word, except in Spanish it has an accent mark. In English it does not. Okay, so cafeteria. Another one that we do change the spelling a little bit, so you do have to sound it out. Parque. Park. Yeah, we add, you know, some vowels at the end. And of course, we don't use the Q that often either, but in this case, you know, more than the K. All right. And then in the very last column, get used to this one because I'll use it a lot with you all, or with you know, the group. La clase. Class. All right. You're la clase. All right. You're the class. You're my class. All right. La clase. Gimnasio. Gym. Okay. Now, Yes, I was going to get to that. In Espanol, there are a lot of words that in English you normally abbreviate. Nobody says, yeah, I'm going down to the gymnasium, all right, to work out. We just call it the gym. In Espanol, we don't do that. It's voy al gym. No, it's el gimnasio, all right? And I'll point out one or two more in the next group. Animales, we just kind of learned this word. What are animales? Animals, okay, so elefante. Elephant, yeah, except we don't like the PH making an F sound, so we just use the F. All right, so elefante, I don't get that in English. No, I do know why in English, but elefante, okay. Sometimes you kind of have to stretch your mind un poquito. Serpiente. Serpent, but a less fancy word. Snake. Okay. Serpent is in English at least. Serpent is a more poetic form. Okay. You know, you use it in literature and poetry and whatever. You know, you're not like, oh my goodness, I saw serpents at the zoo. No, you saw the snakes. All right, you saw the reptiles. Yeah. Okay, so a snake. Tigre. Tiger. You literally just flip the R and the E. It's like a British tiger, you know, like with theater. Just switch it, okay? No, that's just a bad joke. Sorry, dad joke. Oh, thanks, Coop. All right. No, why'd I call you Coop? You're not Cooper, you're Carter. Damn, it's with a C. Thanks, Cart. All right, or at least it's not Cartero. So, mailman. Sorry. Carter. All right. Now, not that I like these animals. All right, they're not my favorite. I actually watched one try to eat a human once. But I like the word. Okay, hipopótamo. Okay, hipopótamo. What is an hipopótamo? Hippopotamus. Hipopótamo. 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 You can just say it fat, like it's serious. Just a funny word.
You watched it try to eat somebody?
Yeah. In South America.
Oh.
Oh, I've got stories for days, okay? When you're young and stupid, you encounter a hippopotamus and just go, dude, it's going to eat that guy. And you just sit there and watch. And this is before cell phones, so I couldn't even record it.
But they're not native to South America.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay. Once upon a time, here, culture time. Once upon a time, there was a drug dealer named Pablo Escobar.
Yeah, I know.
And he actually built his own zoo. And when he was arrested and taken away, the animals were just like, they just...
Oh, you're saying you went to see Escobars?
No, I'm saying that hippos repopulated, and you can find a few in the rivers now. Because the zoo animals just kind of wandered off into the jungle, and while some of them did get eaten by other jungle animals, hippos are actually really, really mean and aggressive, and they don't take shit from, you know, jaguars and other South American animals. So, yeah, they're out there working through some South American rivers. So, yeah.
Bringing it back published.
Yeah. So, anyways, my point with hipopótamo, other than it being a cool word, you cannot shorten it to hippo, okay? Like we do in English. Nobody says, oh, hey, let's go see the hippopotamuses at the zoo. No, let's go see the hippos. In Espanol, you don't say hippo because hippo actually means hiccups. All right, so it's like, oh, look, el hippo, and you don't have hiccups, Fatima. No, el hippo, no, el hipopótamo, okay? And then the last one is a little confusing there. Raton, it looks like rat, but raton means mouse,
Oh, that's right.
okay? And then someone always asks, so then what's rat, Santos? Rata. We just take the word rat and add an A to it, rata, okay? But they're both rodents. Rata, raton. So the word is very similar. Okay? Now, just like in English, because once again, this is the deal with cognates. I can't stretch it. What's this? A mouse.
El Raton.
I was going to say, guess what it is in Espanol? El ratón. All right, so
Wait, wouldn't it be El Electronico Raton?
no, just el ratón.
Oh.
Some people might say el ratón de la computadora, like the
Oh.
computer mouse. So el ratón.
If you say there's a rat in the school, then you won't do like.
La rata, no. Also, rata also means snitch, though. So, so I can say like, Josh is una rata. Like he's a rat. Like watch out. Snitches get stitches. So be careful. Right? Cosas. Cosas means things. Okay. We'll start with the hardest one there. La pizza. Okay. Just FYI. All right. Ethnic foods, and in this case, Italian. You don't translate at all, okay? So, people will sometimes ask, Santos, what's spaghetti in Spanish? Spaghetti, ravioli, okay? Et cetera, all right? I did have a student once ask me, so what's sushi in Spanish? I'm like, seriously, dude, come on, one guess, all right? It's el sushi, all right? Yeah, all right, so like I said, certain foods do not translate. I've had students ask, so then would it be los chicken riggies? I'm like, yeah, basically. I mean, if you want to be a little bit more correct, because we do have a word for chicken, you can say riggies de pollo, all right? But the word riggy doesn't translate, because that's the ethnic word, okay?
What about taco? What about taco?
That's Spanish. You stole it from us. It's like salsa. Like, what's salsa in Spanish? I did have someone once ask me, how do you say salsa in Spanish? And I'm like, that is Spanish. You took it from us.
You had 5 seconds to give me the right
Yeah.
answer.
Let's see. Some more food. Chocolate. Okay. That is actually the Spanish word. That's another one that y'all took from us. Because, chocolate comes from the cacao bean, and the cacao bean is native to like Mexico and Central America and stuff. So, chocolate, chocolate. Okay. And I've used this word a few times. La computadora. Okay. Computer. All right. The last one, and this is the one that we're going to kind of use today. Adjetivos, adjectives. Okay. These are various words that can use to describe people or things, okay? So, for example, what would fabuloso be? Fabulous, okay? Somebody is fabulous. One of my favorite things to say to people or about them is stupido. Stupid, okay? Estupido, okay? The last word in that column, tímido, timid. What's a less fancy word for timid, though?
Shy.
Shy. I was going to say it also starts with an S. So shy. Okay, shy. All right? Now, I won't go through all of them, but just FYI, all of the ones that you see that end in O, that is the masculine form. If you're going to describe something feminine, then you change it to an A. Okay, so I can describe Fatima as fabulosa, okay, fabulous, okay, whereas Jeter there is fabuloso, he's fabulous, okay. I don't want to pick on anyone. So somebody could be a stupida, or could be a stupid. Don't point at Madison. Or a stupido, okay, type of thing. Now, if it ends in any other letter, you don't need to change it. So if you look, for example, at popular, what is popular? Popular, okay? So I could say once again that Fatima is popular, she is popular, pero Jeter is popular, he is popular. It doesn't have to be popularo or popular a. You can just leave it the way it is, okay, popular. Same thing with inteligente, okay? What do you think inteligente?
Intelligent.
Intelligent, smart is a synonym for it, okay? Cruel, cruel, okay? Yeah, I can say, Kyle is cruel. He's cruel, he's mean, he squishes little bugs and, pulls off their legs and watches them try to run. Es cruel. Kyle's like, damn straight, yeah. Whatever, okay? So hold on to these, okay? Because if you have El Libro, if you can open up to page 10, page 10. Yes. And if you don't, that's okay. That's not the one I want. That one. Okay. Good enough.
That only turned out one.
Now, we're going to look at los verbos. We're going to look at verbs. Does anyone not have a book? Okay. I did this to
You want that one? Yeah.
Yeah, we have one.
Yeah, they're,
Oh, you have it?
yeah, you're gonna, at the end of the semester, you're gonna have to.
You can have that. All right. If you look at page 10, we're going to start off looking at some verbs. Okay. First off, quick grammar lesson. What is a verb?
An action word.
Action word. Yes. Okay. Now, in English, typically our verbs do not change a whole lot when you use them, and you change either the subject or the pronoun in the sentence. So, for example, I drink coffee, okay? If I'm talking about Zach, I could say he drinks coffee, okay? If I'm talking about myself and Lauren, we could say we drink coffee. Or talking about, because I see a mug and an empty cup there, looking at the group in the back, they drink coffee. All right, the word drink, all right, we don't make a whole lot of alterations to it. We add an S when we use it in the third person. But typically the verb drink remains the same, okay? The verb to be, on the other hand, is different, okay? Because I wouldn't say, I be the teacher, okay? I mean, I've heard it, but it's wrong. All right, what do I need to change the verb be into? It's not I be a teacher. Am, okay? I am a teacher, okay? If I'm talking about my friend Fatima, she be a teacher? Or no, wait, she am a teacher. What does that need to be changed to? Is. She is a teacher, okay? Now, here's the scary part. En español, all verbs do that. Okay? All verbs change according to the subject or the pronoun that you're using in the sentence. Okay? And so the first one we're going to learn is the verb ser, which means to be. Okay? Now, yo means I when you're talking about yourself. Okay? So yo soy means I am. All right? Now this pretty much identical chart is on page 10, right there in the middle. Okay? So yo soy, I am. Okay? What does tú mean again? You, but in what context?
Non-formal.
Hmm?
Not formal. Like talking to
Yes, not formal. Or familiar, okay? But yes, okay? So you're talking to friends, family, people you know, children, younger people, etc. People that are, below you, okay? So tú means you, and eres means are. So you are, okay? You are. UD is the abbreviation for usted, okay? Just FYI. It's just like MR is Mr. Most people don't write MISTER, okay? It's just MR period. Kind of the same thing. You'll see it a lot, especially in textbooks. They won't write USTED. They'll just put UD period, okay? So, but you say usted. I've had students read it and be like, ood. I'm like, no, it's usted. Just like it's not Mr. Santos. It's Mr., okay? So, what does usted mean again? Not there yet, no.
Okay.
You, but in what sense, you?
Like us, we would say it.
Okay, someone said it over here. Someone said the F word, formal. Okay, it's the formal. So yes, you would say it to me because you're the student, I'm the teacher. You're young, I'm old. Okay, a stranger, someone you don't know. Okay, someone you're doing business with. So usted es means you are. Now, here's where it sometimes gets a little tricky for some people, but don't worry, you'll get over it. Because the verb form is identical. Él means he. So this means he is. Okay? And then ella means she. So she is. Okay? Yo soy, I am. Tú eres, you are. In the informal. Usted es, you are. In the formal. Él es, he is. Ella es, she is. All right? Now, these are the plurals. What do I mean by that? Nosotros means we. Okay? So you've got two people, or more than one. But let's just go with two. You've got we. Okay? Now, we've done a little bit of this. Nosotros, nosotras. Remember that in Espanol, certain things are divided by gender. Okay? Nosotros would be the masculine form. Nosotras would be the feminine form. Okay? If, all right, we have Jeter, okay, damn it, I forgot your name already. ¿Cómo te llamas? Sí. Juan, that's right. I literally, I'm like, it's not Brad, it's not like, Taylor.
It's Brad.
Okay, it is Brad?
Brad.
Okay, okay.
Chad.
Chad, or one of those douchey names, I don't know. So Brad, no, I mean John. John and Jeter here, okay? They say, Señor Santos, nosotros are bored. Nosotros, two guys, okay? If it was Fatima and Lauren, since they're sitting together, they would say, Señor Santos, nosotras are bored. Okay? Nosotras. All right? See.
From what I remember from like my Spanish 2 class, do we have to always use nosotras if the we involves a girl, or can we just use nosotros?
Well, if it's more than one girl,
If it's a boy,
and it's only girls, then yeah.
Oh,
Now, if it's sa and you, on the other hand, we have a mixed gender. Okay? Once again, ladies, I will apologize. The masculine form is the default form. Okay? So if they're talking, even if she's the one actually saying the words, we are bored, what would she say? Nosotros are bored. Okay? And yes, and that's because the masculine form is the default one, the dominant one. Okay? Lo siento, once again. That's just the way the language is. Okay? Now, nosotros somos, we are, or nosotras somos, we are. Okay? Now, here comes the fun part. Those of you that have taken Spanish before, because I know there's like a couple of you that have, did you have to learn the vosotros?
we always asked it out.
Okay, so for Carter it's no.
No, we never. They told us it existed and then we crossed it off, like literally when we were doing it.
I hate all your teachers. Because
You know what made it so much
easier. Let's keep it that way.
Senor Santos teaches vosotros.
Oh, man.
Okay? Now, the reason why teachers do that is, and you probably already know this, but what is the only country out of the 21 that uses it? Spain. Okay? The other 20 Spanish-speaking countries do not use vosotros. Okay? Now, you're going to learn it. So, what is vosotros? Vosotros literally just means you all.
I
You-
thought that's what he said.
Okay. But vosotros is the plural of tú. Okay? Yeah. So, I am talking to one student. I am talking to one person who is younger than me. Okay? Tú eres inteligente. Okay? I am talking to this group of students. I am talking to this group of young people. Vosotros sois inteligentes. Okay? I literally just said, you all are
So
smart.
how would you do that not in Spanish?
Ustedes son
Oh,
inteligentes.
And I mean, that's personally how I learned, because like Cartero said back here, we just always cross the rocks off.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're like, don't call me Cartero. Now, I do it because despite the fact that my background is Mexican and we don't use vosotros in Mexico, I'm teaching you all the Spanish that I can that exists.
So
That
when
includes
did you-
vosotros.
When did you learn about it?
In college, kind of like,
Oh, really?
yeah. That's when I learned it, was in college. And yeah, my teacher was actually Spanish from Spain. So he was a bit more disdainful of me going, well, we don't even use that. And it's just like, well, you don't know anything. Like, he was kind of one of those professors, which I'm sure you have either had or will have in the, John's like, you either had or will have in the future at some point. But yeah, I had to learn it in college. So number one. Number two, I like to tell people that at some point, and I never imagined going to Spain, especially after that professor, but I've actually been there 3 times now in my life. And so I'm kind of glad I knew it because I was able to use it without any problems. Finally, and this is like one of my pitches, and it's happened. I've been teaching for almost 20 years. Maybe one day you'll say, hey, you know what? That class with Santos was just so awesome, and he just seemed to love what he was doing. I'll be a Spanish teacher too. And so when you Madison's like never. But when you study a language, when you major in a language, kind of like majoring in English, you will eventually be reading literature. In this case, literature in Spanish. And just like in an English major, at some point you'll have to read like old stuff like Shakespeare and Chaucer and stuff like that. You do the same, you do the Spanish equivalent, those ancient authors. The vosotros form is used like crazy in all of that literature. So you're kind of like grateful that you actually did learn it. And you'll sit there and be like, thank you, Santos,
So if we ever read old Spanish literature.
Yes. Or if you're in Madrid, you might end up in Madrid next week. You never know. It's a quick 5-hour flight from JFK. Direct flight to Madrid. Hey, I mean, it takes longer to get to Florida sometimes.
Do we get a pass from the same class so we can go to
Yeah.
Madrid and hear
If you send me a text, be like, hey, I'm in Madrid right now, Santos. I'm gonna have to miss class. I'm like, yeah, miss it. All right. Nothing better than walking around Madrid. Okay. It really is an awesome city, just FYI. But maybe we'll take a field trip. All right. When I win the lottery, I'll just be like, okay, everyone's got to take it. Yeah, I know. You're like, yeah, I'm gonna start playing. Yeah, give me them scratch offs. I read some guy like yesterday won the $1,000 a day one, like where you get $1,000 a day. I'm like, I can handle that.
How great would that be?
I don't know. I'd buy like at least $1,001 coffees. Like I could. Kind of like.
Out of everything that came to mind, that's the one thing you want is $1,001 copies.
Yeah, I'd share. I'd be like, okay, campus, just get your coffee.
You wouldn't get a couple of one-way tickets for us to go to?
Well, I'd have to wait at least a week. But anyways, all right. Now, to go to some of your other comments, ustedes. Ustedes means you all, but it is the plural of usted. So, if you're in Spain, a group of strangers, a group of old people, all right? a group of business people, whatever. If you're anywhere from Mexico to Argentina, all right, and the Caribbean, this is just a group of anyone. Could be a group of friends, could be a group of strangers, could be a group of children, could be a group of adults. You would use ustedes for everything. And of course, you know, if you do have like Puerto Rican friends or Guatemalan friends or, you know, whatever, they probably don't know how to use the vosotros form or may not understand it that well. So, you know, you'll be better than them now. Okay? And when it comes to Spanish, you'll be like, hey, I know more Spanish than you. All right? I also know the European form of Espanol. Okay? Now, ellos is the plural of el, so this is they, but the masculine they, and that is they, the feminine they. Okay? So in this case, if I'm talking about, once again, Fatima and Lauren, ellas son inteligentes. They are smart. Okay? If I'm talking about John and Jeter, ellos son inteligentes. They are smart. Okay? If I'm talking about, let's say, Madison and John, one guy, one girl, which one do I use? Ellos. Once again, the masculine is the default form. Okay, so ellos son. And just FYI, even all the guys are absent except for Zach, I still have to use the masculine. Okay, even though he's outnumbered by the girls in class. All right? I can only use feminine pronouns if there's only girls in the class. Okay, which, kind of funny, in one of my Tuesday, Thursday classes, there are 11 girls and one guy in the class. And so I was using masculine pronouns, and then I said, you know what? No, this is 2022, so I say, I use all ellas or señoritas or whatever. Doug. His name's Doug. So I say, I use all the feminines, and then I just add his name, you know, at the end.
How does Doug feel about that?
He's fine. He's like, well, you know.
Girls.
Yeah, it gotta make the language equal somehow at some point. All right. It might take another 1,000 years because Spanish is pretty old, but maybe. But it's better than just ignoring the 11 women and just using masculine all the time. Okay. But anyways, okay. So what do we use ser for? Number one, we've already used it here to talk about where you're from, your origin. Okay, and I'm going to put de here. Soy de California. Okay, I'm from California. Okay, so we use it to talk about where we are from. Okay, Josh, ¿de dónde eres? Where are you from?
Oh, yo soy Romo Nuevo York.
Soy de Rome.
Did I get? I got it mostly right.
Mostly. Soy de Rome.
You just called yourself.
Yeah, you just said I'm Rome. All right, so soy de Rome. Fatima, ¿de dónde eres?
Partially right.
Soy de Iraq.
De Irak. Okay, muy bien. Marisona, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de
De Holland Patton. Muy bien. Y Jeter, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Lewis County.
De Lewis County. Okay. Is there like not a town?
No, there is.
No, I've known people that live out in the middle of nowhere, and they're like, it's like, you know, whatever county, because there's my house, and then there's like nothing, you know, for like 30 miles. All right, so okay, está bien. Carter, ¿de dónde eres?
Soy de Utica.
De Utica. Muy bien. Okay. Now, Fatima gave us a foreign country as to where she's from. Soy de Iraq. For those of you that answered Lewis County and Utica and Rome and all of the other ones, your country What is los Estados Unidos? United States. Okay. So you should know your country and Español. Okay. For Fatima, it's kind of easy because it's the same word, except slightly different spelling. Okay. But soy de Irak, soy de los Estados Unidos. Sí.
Do people in like South America get offended when you say like you're from America? Because we are COVID.
Yes.
Yeah, I never thought of it that way. Like, they're also American.
Yeah. The first time I did it, like I got an earful, like literally got yelled at by like a bus of people. Because I said, soy americano. Yeah, I'm an American. And they're like, oh, what the hell do you think we are? And I was like, you're from Argentina. And they're like, and someone like literally, have you ever looked at a map and where does it say America? And I'm like, it says it all along this giant continent. And they're like, that's right. So, you know, and I was just like, okay, so what should I say? So Los Estados Unidos, the United States. Some people use the expression norteamericano, which would be what? North American. Yeah, I'm North American. Now, granted, that could also mean Canadian, but it's a bit more accurate than just saying Americano.
So it's safer to say you're Canadian than you're American.
Yeah, sometimes. Oh, last time I was in France, which was about 10 years ago, like when I'd go up to people, I wouldn't even try English or my basic French. I'd be like, parlez-vous l'espagnol? Like, do you speak Spanish? And just about everyone I talked to were like, sí, yo hablo español. I mean, they spoke with a French accent, and they'd be like, de donde eres? And I'd be like, Mexico? Oh, j'aime le Mexique. Oh, très bien, Mexique. And I was just like, yes. Huh?
You said you went to
No, Paris.
Paris? Okay.
Yeah, and I'd ask them, I just ask in French, do you speak Spanish, you know, parlez-vous l'espagnol? And they'd be like, oui, yeah, sí, que necesita? I can't fake a French accent in Spanish. I just can't.
Did they speak English or did they?
Oh yeah, but the French have a reputation for being kind of snooty about it.
It's true.
So I just figured I wouldn't test it. And I learned quickly, at least in South America, to say, not that I'm embarrassed, but it's just safer in some instances to say I'm Mexican than to say I'm Norte Americano. You know, I don't know if you say you're Iraqi or like when you travel or like I'm living in the United States.
If
Or,
I'm in the United States, I say I'm from Detroit. But then when I'm outside of the United States, I say I'm from Ireland.
yeah, so it's kind of the same thing, you know. Although I've been living here for almost 20 years, so I'm starting to say I'm from New York, even though I'll still claim California. You know, when I meet people from the West Coast, like, you know, yeah, I'm from California too. But now, like, you know, I meet people, you know, I go to Boston, oh yeah, I'm from New York State, you know, or I live in New York State, or, you know, so. It's what you gotta do to survive when you're this color, okay? You gotta blend in, all right? Anyways, lo siento, that's gonna be on the video. All right, number 2, we also use it to describe. Okay, and in this case, typically it's either your physical or personality. I always get this word wrong. Characteristics. You know what I'm trying to say.
I was like, what?
Your characteristics. Okay, I think it's like, it's somewhere in here, okay? And so, if you look on page 11, or you can look at this sheet too, okay? But looking at page 11, and I'm looking at exercise P10, all right? What do you think responsable? Responsible. Oh, these are more cognates. I'm sorry, I should have led with that. These are, once again, words that are similar. So you can say, yo soy responsable. I am responsible. Okay. Number 3, extrovertido. extroverted. What's a less fancy way?
Social butterfly.
Close enough. Outgoing. The word is outgoing, Carter. All right, so yes, but a social butterfly. All right. Carter S, extrovertido. He is a social butterfly. He is outgoing. Okay. Look at number 7, honesto. Honest. Okay. Now, of course, remember, if it ends in O, if you're describing something feminine, you change it to A. So, Madison es honesta. She is honest. Okay? If you look then at P11, it gives you some characteristics, características. Okay? You can also use ser to describe your profession. Okay, now I realize that for most of you, okay, you have a job, but that may not be your profession or what you're going to be when you grow up. Okay, so for now, okay, most of y'all can say soy estudiante. What is estudiante? Student. Yeah, I'm a student. Yo soy profesor. I'm what? Professor. Professor can also be interpreted as teacher. All right, so like even like, you know, your 3rd grade teacher could say soy profesor. All right, so soy profesor. What do you think actor? I'm sure there's at least one of you that's going to be an actor.
An actor.
Actor. Okay, actor.
Is it like an actor and actress?
Yeah. In both English and Spanish, there's a recent movement to eliminate the word actress. And even if you look like at the most recent, like either Emmys or Oscars or whatever, now it's best actor in a whatever, and even when it's a woman, they're still called best actor instead of best actress. And so they're doing that in Espanol también. Otherwise, it's actriz. Okay. Atleta. What do you think is atleta?
Athlete.
Athlete. Okay. Musico. Musician. If you're a female musician, musica. Okay, like Taylor, you know. We don't need her last name, right? Like Beyonce. All right, it's just Taylor. All right, so musica. What do you think politico?
Politician.
Politician. And if it's someone like Hillary, politica. All right, the feminine form. And then finally, artista.
Artist.
Artist. Now, some of you may say, but Santos, those end in A. I'll give you a trick here. Anything that ends in TA is actually masculine. I'm sorry, is gender neutral. It can be used for both. Okay? So for example, there's one that they didn't list that I'll give you. What do you think dentista means? Dentist. So if he's my dentist, it would be dentista. If she's my dentist, it would still be dentista. I don't need to change it to dentisto. Okay? So, what I would like you to do to finish off El Dia, okay, I would like you to, in one sentence, describe yourself. You can use these, you can use those, okay? And then in another sentence, describe your best friend. So if it is a guy, LS, oops. If it's a girl, ella es. Okay? So you're describing yourself, yo soy, all right? Yo soy fantástico, my profesor. I'm a great professor, all right? My best friend, ella es romántica. She is romantic, all right? Ella es romántica. So, describe yourself, describe a friend. If your friend is male, LS. If your friend is female, ella es. And remember, if it ends in something not O or not A, it's the same for both genders. Yo soy enorme. I am enormous. Zach, describe yourself. One sentence.
Yo soy de Alexante.
Okay, muy bien, excelente. Madisona, por favor. Yo soy what?
I don't know.
Generosa?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. You seem generous. I mean, I've got no evidence to the contrary. So, other than you haven't brought me coffee yet, but hey, you know, maybe.
Tell me your orders.
Okay. Kyle, por favor.
Soy yo soy elegante.
Okay, elegante. All right, excelente. Josh, por favor.
Yo soy de responsable.
Responsable?
There you go.
Okay, muy bien. Describe a friend. Fatima?
Ella es estúpida.
Some friend you are. Ella es estúpida. She is stupid. Carter, describe a friend.
I don't want to lie.
Don't lie. We won't tell who the friend is. Is he a stupido?
No, my friends aren't dudes.
Oh, okay. So is estúpida.
Sure.
Well, say it. Yo no.
Ella es estúpida.
Also estúpida. Jeter.
That's exactly what I said.
Oh.
Ego es estúpido.
Okay. Juan.
Mi amigo, ella es estúpido.
Also estúpida. You guys need better friends. All right. So muy bien. It's or they need better friends if you're calling them that. So muy bien. Okay. We are gonna stop aquí. All right. For now. But hasta el Friday.
Right.
Wouldn't it be